Welcome to Church at Home with Rachael for Tuesday, the 17th of May. Today, I would like to talk about a little tongue-in-cheek about something from in the not the distant future, or distant future, the distant past, but from the past. Do you remember the program, Trump's program called The Apprentice, and his famous line, "You're fired"? I never really liked that show. I watched it a couple of times when Trace Atkins was on it just because I like Trace Atkins, but then it sort of wore off. I really hated watching it. So I decided, I would watch other things. However, lately I have been thinking about that because I have been acting as my husband's apprentice. If you've been watching this channel, you know that my husband and I are moving homes. We have been renting this beautiful space where we are right now, where my office is, and the owner has decided to sell his house, so we had to find another place to live. And rentals, for the money that we could spend on rentals, and the conditions that we prefer to live in, were few and far between where we live. So we actually qualified for a mortgage, and we bought our first house, first for me anyway. We've been working really hard to get it up. Who's we? My husband Rob has been working really hard to get it ready to go. With our carpets went in yesterday, and our furniture is coming next Tuesday, a week from today, and everything has to be out of the old house and cleaned by the 31st. So busy week, busy 10 days coming. However, one busy week, 2 weeks. Sorry, I'm confused. Natural state of being for me lately. One of the things that I've been really kind of struggling with this this transition of moving is what role that I play in the move. I've been doing the practical stuff like changing the address, getting keys to the new mailbox, getting our cable and phone and stuff hooked up, dealing with the bank, things like that. But the actual nuts and bolts stuff, the moving of things and the fixing of things, that's all been Rob. All been Rob. Some of you may have seen pictures of it. It was really, really, really dark brown, most of the house. And the master bedroom was a really deep maroon color. And the floors were the builder grade floors, and they've been in there for 22 years or thereabouts and kind of starting to come apart. So they really need to be replaced. So there was a lot of work. And so we were energetic, gung-ho. We got the house on April 8th and got the keys, and we're ready to go. And I had in my head this timeline that indicated, that by now everything would be done, because I have no clue how to do flooring or paint or fix holes in walls and reframe doors. And apparently it was a bit of a party house that we bought, and it's in pretty bad shape. But my husband, God bless his beautiful soul, has been going over every day after work for the last couple of weeks and working his knees off. He's been doing flooring, he's been painting, he's been fixing walls with drywall and mudding and all those things that I don't understand. And my role has been to say, yes, we can afford that, or which account we pay for it from to get all the supplies. But really, my role has truly been to be the apprentice. And I've discovered that the apprentice carries a broom and gets to hold a tape measure, which I got my own tape measure. I'm very proud of that. Haven't needed to use it for anything, but I have it. I'm waiting to get my own hammer now, too. I think Rob's probably smart enough to keep a hammer out of my hands. But I've been doing a lot of things like sweeping and grabbing garbage and doing coffee runs and hauling things to the truck for the garbage and moving things out to the garage and shifting piles of flooring here and there and everywhere, and generally being the memory person for, he says, this is 6 foot 2¼ inches. I go write that down, things like that. And I'm realizing how much I don't know. Realizing that being the apprentice goes against my grain. You see, I'm one of those people who, although I don't really know much about anything, I always sort of have had this assumption that if I didn't know something or know how to do something the first time I did it, then somehow I was a failure. And if I was on Trump's show, The Apprentice, I would have been fired the first 5 minutes. I wouldn't even make the end of the episode. Would have been like, you're fired, gone. Rob has not fired me. And I don't think it's because he wants to save marital bliss. I think it's because Rob has been an apprentice. He remembers what it was like when he was working to get his HVAC tickets. For those of you who don't know, that's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and that's what his background is in. He remembers what it was like when he was a beginner carpenter. He remembers what it was like when he began driving trucks and buses. He's had a very storied life. He's done everything. When I say jack of all trades, master of many, I'm serious. He's got some pretty good skill sets. But the thing is, as much as he's a perfectionist, as much as he gets, he can get frustrated with me for not figuring things out after he's shown me once or twice or 5 or 6 times, he remembers what it was like to be an apprentice, that you walk in and the biggest gift you have, the biggest skill that you have is 2 parts, 2 skills you have. Number 1, your first skill is your desire to learn something new and recognize you don't already know. The second part is the recognition that you're not going to know how to do it perfectly the first time. As an apprentice, I think the biggest thing you learn is that you don't know and that you need to learn. And Rob has been incredibly patient with me because I am apparently a very slow learner. And what's hardest is not on him, not how he's hard on me. Sometimes he gets a bit short with me because I haven't been paying attention, or, I'm kind of like squirrel. I'm like a dog that way. Like, dude, my attention is really quickly taken away and I have to come back and stay on point. But I think the hardest thing for him teaching me as my mentor, or whatever you call my master, the master craftsman, the hardest part for him, I think, is helping me recognize that there's no expectation that I'm going to know how to do it the first time out. That's the point of being an apprentice. You do it over and over and over. You put in your hours, lots and lots of hours, to figure out how to do this. And I struggle with this because I want to be liked. I want to be told I've done a good job. And I want to know that I'm an expert at things. News flash, I am an expert at nothing. Nothing. There's nothing I'm an expert at. It's a humbling reality, humbling acknowledgement, but it's true. And I have to get over myself and accept that. But the fact is that I am an apprentice in everything. I'm an apprentice at life. I'm even an apprentice at being a priest. I've been doing it for I've been a deacon now for 23 years and a priest for 22 and a half. But I'm still learning. I will always be an apprentice because there will always be things I do not know. Things that I need to turn to somebody else and say, you're the master. You've been doing this longer than me. You're really good at this. You're the one that people tell me I need to talk to. So teach me what I need to know. Correct me when I'm wrong. Point me in the right direction, or teach me what questions I need to ask. I am an apprentice at life. And I think that when I realize that, and when I come to accept that as a reality of my life, I think that's when the penny's going to drop. Up here in Canada, that's kind of a joke because we don't have pennies anymore. So I don't know, maybe we drop nickels? I don't know. But the point is that I need to learn how to be a good apprentice. Not that I'm a great, perfect apprentice at everything I get the first time, but that I need to learn how to accept correction. I need to acknowledge that I'm often wrong, and that's okay. I need to be okay that practice makes perfect, not watching it once and doing it, or seeing it on TV or a DIY on YouTube. But I need to learn humility. I need to learn that no matter what I'm coming up against, everything is a brand new situation, and there's so much I need to learn. And there's something really freeing about this kind of knowledge about lifelong apprenticeship, because it reminds me of how much there is out there to learn, how much there is to know. People that I've never heard of, and music and art, genres of art that I've never experienced, that I'm invited, YouTube comments and things like that are inviting me to expand my horizons. I am an apprentice at YouTube. I'm an apprentice at figuring out how to do these videos and how to share with people. I'm an apprentice at being a human being. And that's okay. That's awesome. So as I go about the rest of my week and keep on working side by side with my husband and learn how to paint, and maybe the more I do it, the better I'll get, I hope. I appreciate the fact that I haven't been fired. Rob has not fired me as his apprentice around the house. My parishes haven't fired me for not being the perfect priest. My family hasn't fired me for not being the perfect daughter or sister or aunt. My friends haven't tossed me aside because, you know what, I'm a bit flaky when it comes to being a friend. I'm an apprentice, and that's a good thing to be. What are you apprenticing with in your life? Where do you need some mentor or master to come alongside you and help you out? Or, as my husband would say in Star Wars genre, or Star Wars, wording, who is the Jedi master you need to find as you live out your life as a Padawan learner? Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless everybody. God bless.